This program is brought to you by The Late Chuckle. Introducing Lemmy the Talking Lemon.
Thank you. I used to be a bra fitter in a department store a few years ago, and I got quite a few characters come through. From a busty bride bawling in the cubicle because the only bra we had in her cup size in bridal wear was 50 pounds, and she couldn't afford it. And a transvestite, not transsexual. We asked him, and he confirmed he was a male, identified as a male, just liked wearing women's clothing, asking for a fitting and someone to help him pick out cute underwear. Anyway, the story I'll always remember is one Saturday, a lady comes in asking for a fitting. Her old bras were worn out, and while she's here, she thought she may as well get fitted, which is pretty much the most common reason we got a lot of drop-in fittings. Well, I went to fit this lady, came back with a bra, and she took the bra she was wearing off in front of me, which some ladies do if they feel comfortable. Now, I am very short, and this lady was quite a bit taller than me. I was at chest level and saw that one nipple was inverted. This isn't that unusual. My mom had inverted nipples, and the lady apologized, saying that her nipple sometimes does a weird thing, so I gently told her that she should probably get it checked out, if it's only just happened. I then found her a set of underwear she was happy with, and she left. Fast forward a few weeks, and the lady came in and I didn't recognize her right away. She said hi and thanked me for fitting her and mentioning the inverted nipple. She went to the doctor, and it wasn't anything really serious, just an infection. But she was really nice and thanked me for being concerned. Now, I work at a pet shop and I don't see boobs on a daily basis anymore, but I do get to see a lot of puppies. I love my job. I worked at a park in my town, and my job, along with a few other high schoolers, was to prepare the baseball diamonds to be played on in the evening. One day after it rained, my buddy and I were in the park truck driving around to the fields and looking at the mess the rain made on them. Our boss comes up to the truck and says, "Hey, go over to Diamond 3 and start pulling water off. I'm going to start over here at 6. So we drive over to the field and look at it. It's not bad. My friend turns to me and says, "Hey, let's play Heat Box." Now, I've played Heat Box before and was not excited to play it again, but I don't like to lose, so I agreed. If you've never heard of Hatbox, I'll explain. You roll up the windows, crank up the fans in the car, and turn the heat on full blast. The loser is the one who opens his door or rolls down his window first. So we start. Now, mind you, this is a particularly hot and humid day after rain, and it's about 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hot. After an hour, our boss comes over to the field and looks at it, sees it's not done, and turns around looking for the truck until he spots us. He runs over to us, obviously looking a bit pissed off, and looks in at us. It was at this time we agreed to a draw and opened the doors. The look on his face was one of the most "are you fucking kidding me" looks I've ever seen. Luckily, he was cool about it. Told us to get working on the field and not to goof off anymore. He also didn't punish us since we were basically dripping in sweat after we stepped out of the truck. Good times at the park. I was unemployed for a while I was in college, and I had been putting in applications everywhere. After a few weeks of applying to any and everything, I got a call back from a guy who was located half a country away from me. He tells me he's hiring somebody to retrieve personal items from a company after the employee has been terminated. I'm desperate for a job, and it's just bizarre enough that I'm willing to give it a shot. I accept, and a few days later, I'm given my first assignment. A woman had recently been let go from the Sprint campus, which is larger than some towns, and her personal items were there, waiting to be retrieved. I finally make my way out to the Sprint campus and find the building that I need to pick the personal items up from. I get a few sideways looks from the security guard as I ask him to hand me a box of items that don't belong to me. I don't really have any trouble, and I move on. Now that I have the personal items in tow, I haul off to the nearest Starbucks to drop off the items with their owner. She is picking up a desk fan, some ramen in a cup, and blanket that she had kept at her desk. I meet her and hand her the items and get ready to go my own way when she turns to me and starts thanking me profusely for returning her ramen cups. Of all the things that I was returning that day, Her 33 cents cup of ramen noodles was the most important thing. It took a weird job and turned it into a completely surreal experience. When I was working at a horse racing event a couple of summers ago, I was put on the gates, selling and taking tickets. We were sat in little booths with turnstiles operated by a little foot pedal. So when someone gave us their ticket or entrance money, we'd press the pedal and let them through. This one particular day, I had a rather large woman come through my turnstile. I tried not to be rude, but asked if she would rather go through the WC turnstile, which is wider. She huffed at me and said she was fine where she was. She didn't want to queue up again for the other gate. Long story short, she got stuck in the turnstile and was screaming, shouting, and crying for what seemed like forever, whilst the fire brigade was called to get her out. I worked at one of those Walmart subways for a bit. Sometimes the assisted living buses roll through to the Walmart, and occasionally that meant a flood of older customers. There was this adorable older couple that dropped in. They took their time ordering their sandwiches, sat down to eat, and spent just about all the time they had sitting in the store. I was doing what I do, which meant spot sweeping before my shift ended when I noticed a smell near the soda machine that I was concerned would be noticed by this couple. I mention it to a manager before a surprised woman wanders in, nose covered. The couple got up and wandered out of the store at a leisurely pace, and we found the source of the smell. This poor old man had shit himself while eating and managed to drag it through the Walmart and out the door. I don't know how they managed to stay looking blissful this entire time. But props to them. I clocked the fuck out and got away from the sickening smell, left my poor manager to clean it up. I hope you had a wonderful time. Until then, good night, America.